First thing I want to say is my heart goes out to the people who lost their lives in this horrific collision at the DC airport, which was so horrific. I can't even imagine with all those lives lost. My heart goes out to those people. I can't even imagine. You guys know I make fun of Trump. I do the spoofs on Trump, stuff like that. This was just pretty fucking low of him to blame DEI, to point fingers at a specific group of people. Is it a misogyny thing? Is it racist, what he's saying? You know, is he against handicapped people or whatever? People that are hired in aviation and hired in a lot of jobs are qualified. They're qualified people. You take them through tests to make sure they know what they're doing. And to blame Joe Biden and I just thought that was just whack. That was lame. Regardless of whoever you like and whoever you disagree with, this particular situation, it should have been a we thing. Like, hey, we got to see what happened. We got to see what went wrong. Was it a mechanical thing? It's a human error. It's not a particular person error. I mean, it takes a whole bunch of people to mess up. But what if it was a mechanical error? You know? I just thought that was pretty fucked up. Because when he keeps saying DEI, DEI, it's almost like saying, well, if there were white men, if we were all white, it would have been fine, white men. But the white men were pilots. The pilots were white men. But we're not blaming them. They're human beings. All the plane crashes that have happened over decades, who do we blame? I would blame white pilots because your hiring practices didn't allow black pilots, didn't allow women, didn't allow Asian pilots, Latin pilots. So I would blame white men for all of those other crashes because of your practices in hiring different qualified people. We could do that, but that would be a horrible thing to do. But that's what you're doing. Blaming all of this. Doctors, even Elon Musk said, you know, the doctors, the medical situation is getting really bad, you know, because the DEI. So really, you mean the black doctors, a lot of the black contributions to medicine like plasma and open heart surgery and all of the wonderful things that African Americans have contributed to medicine that your people stole and claimed it for themselves. Lots of different people have contributed to medicine. But for you to say this DEI shit, DEI, which was, by the way, white women benefited the most out of DEI. White women benefited the most out of DEI. African Americans were probably, I think, last in benefiting from DEI. So all this blame of these white men constantly blaming DEI is just code word for racist bullshit. As if you are the fucking kings of knowledge, which is not the truth, because we can go in academic stats. You all are not leading in academic stats. I'm not saying there aren't brilliant white students, but a lot of you are there because of legacy. Legacy. You didn't allow anybody to do a goddamn thing. And that's why DEI was put in place, because you just don't like people playing an even playing field. And then when you do play an even playing field, you start moving the goalposts and blaming shit. That's what's going on. I just think it's really low that President Trump blamed Joe Biden on this collision. I think it's just really low down for him to do that because Trump, you fired the heads of TSA and you fired Coast Guards and several members of a key aviation safety advisory committee. So what if it was your error? What if it was your error? I'm just saying, you know, there's going to be a lot of crazy comments and whatever, Trump supporters, blah, 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 would saying some bullshit. But this is a we thing. It's a human thing. And people's lives have been lost and you're pointing fingers at DEI. Come on, man. It's a shame. And you just started off this year on some real low down shit. And I think that we're in big trouble with these kind of things that you're saying. You say a lot of edgy shit, a lot of crazy shit, you know, but I think that this is the lowest you can go. You want to take the Tuskegee Airmen history out of the Air Force. But these are all black pilots that helped your white pilots win wars and made more kills than your white pilots who didn't even want to fight with them. Was that DEI? This is the same people that can't even win a fucking spelling bee. You guys can't even win a spelling bee. White kids can't even win a spelling bee because Indian kids are kicking the shit out of them. Is that DEI? And I'm not saying that there aren't brilliant white kids, of course, but you've always had a leg up. And then when something goes wrong, you literally blame people who don't look like you. It almost reminds me of sports, like NFL basketball, which is dominated by African Americans. When you decided to let them in, you saw the difference. When it's an even playing field, you see the difference. Even when a black player drops a ball or misses a shot, you're always blaming the people that don't look like you on your bullshit. So the academic decline, and we're not even competing against other countries. Is that the DEI? Or is the white kids that are getting their asses smoked by immigrants like Africans and Asians and Indians? Because the stats are there. So is it DEI? Or is it just an excuse and a scapegoat to blame people for your mediocrity? And like I said, there are brilliant people that are white, of course. But you all suckered us into thinking you all were brilliant, which is not the truth. You are the most on welfare. You are the most poor. You are the ones that do most of the crimes. You are the biggest rapists. You are the biggest robbers. It's you guys. I just thought that for this kind of tragedy and you trying to make America great again, I think that you're being very un-American by, pointing fingers like that, causing division, just constantly causing division. It's just this underlying white supremacist bullshit that you just keep fucking narrating, bro. Like I said, my heart goes out to the people who lost their lives, and the families. I can't even imagine. And it can happen to any of us. To err is human, To err is human.